Okay, so we are starting in Street Fighter 2. I didn't go a little bit in depth into what makes the Alpha series and regular Street Fighter 2 different. Street Fighter Alpha did introduce what's called Alpha counters, and then the ability to block in the air. So Alpha counters were a very good defensive option if if you could pull it off, and you're not just stuck blocking. So it was more active. And then with Street Fighter Alpha, what I did like is that they did have that simple mode for new players. I feel like that was just enough for new players because while it did give you the option to activate your super combo or your super art with two buttons, it was just a level 1 super. So I think that was a great way to introduce or help ease in new players. Now with Alpha 2, what that introduced is characters. You got Akuma, Bison, and Dan right from the start. They were in Street Fighter Alpha, but you either needed a code or you needed to pick them. Luckily, through the random select, and with Dan, oddly enough, since I do have a lot of family in Mexico, Veracruz to be more specific, I only really got or knew of King of Fighters probably in high school, maybe like junior, maybe senior year. I do remember playing Fatal Fury and watching those anime OVAs, but the King of Fighters is such a big like the fighting game in Mexico, and I just think it's just kind of funny and odd that every time we went to Mexico, I didn't even see or hear anything of King of Fighters. Granted, it's not like any of my family there plays fighting games competitively, so maybe that's why. And like I said, we didn't have a ton of money to be going to arcades. So that I bring that up because Dan is an amalgamation of that, of Rio from King of Fighters and Robert Garcia. Which are kind of like Ryo is pretty much like a Ryu, Shoto, in King of Fighters, and then Robert Garcia with the ponytail looking kind of like Steven Seagal. Well, I always thought Dan looked like Steven Seagal. But yeah, the ponytail look is more Robert Garcia, which, I mean, later on when I did play King of Fighters, I did see how cool they were. Especially Robert. But yeah, I just thought Dan being a joke character, he isn't that great of a character to pick, but I always thought he was unique. Anyway, so Dan's cool. I've got nothing against Dan. And then, of course, you got Akuma. And then also, gameplay-wise, with this Street Fighter, they introduced what's called custom combos. So once you get your meter up to 3, if you do save it and don't expend it, you can activate this mode by pressing. You'll see me activate it a couple times through this playthrough, but I'm not entirely sure how I did. I just pressed all. I've got my same setup where I have all 3 punches and all 3 kicks tied to R1, R2, and then I pressed like square and X along with that, and I activated it. But yeah, those I actually never utilized playing this, and then through this playthrough I actually tried it a couple of times, and I was like, oh, okay, I can see why people like this. I can see why everybody was a fan of custom combos, because it is incredibly easy to utilize it in this game. I was expecting like you had to know some combo routes or you had to know how to really do some crazy stuff in order to utilize it properly. But no, I was just spamming Tatsu and then Hadouken a couple times through this playthrough, and I was like, oh dang, this actually is pretty good. So I during this time, I really still didn't have a character, and when you're playing a fighting game, that's kind of hard to invest when you don't have a character of your own. You're not really wanting to go and spend the time and learn the matchups and everything. So this also brought in Sakura. So she's pretty much what a lot of people would consider the best character in this game. Fan favorite. Love her stage. Great music. Again, the music comes back and it's awesome as well. The stages are more alive. There's more stuff going around the background and more like Street Fighter-esque. Like, okay, these are just two guys meeting somewhere and getting into a tussle. The character selection, I didn't bring this up either from the first one. You've got a lot of people from the first Street Fighter, like the first ever Street Fighter, not Street Fighter 2, but Street Fighter, with Birdie, Adon, Gen comes in this one, Birdie, and then Sagat obviously was the final boss in that game. And then you had Final Fight characters with Guy, Cody, Saddam, and then Rolento, which I didn't know Rolento was in Final Fight either. I just thought he was this cool, super fast army military dude. So I will say that, again, I didn't really have a character. I would just pick Ryu for the most part, which that's why I'm doing this playthrough with. And then Charlie sometimes, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think the character selection's fine. Again, you don't have the World Warriors. So I actually remember being kind of bummed out at this point that they weren't around, just because I wanted more characters to pick. I had already knew that, like, okay, well, these characters I don't really have any interest in playing, or they're not clicking with me. So that being said, I should go back and try like Saddam or try Guy, because Guy is like insane. And I'm sorry, I said Cody was in here, but Cody didn't come out till Street Fighter Alpha 3. See, there you go. I tried to like activate my custom combo just to give it a shot. Yeah, this playthrough, yeah, I had to try a couple times. You can supposedly fight Shin Akuma at the end if you meet certain conditions, which I think is cool. You know, if you're getting really good at the game, that's something to strive for and to aim for, and for bragging rights with your friends. Like, you know, I was good enough to get 5 perfects and end on 3 super arts finishers to have the chance to fight Shin Akuma. But yeah, I was done holding back. Um, During this time, a lot of other fighting games were coming out. I want to say from Capcom. Like, I think I was playing X-Men vs. Street Fighter at this point. I never played X-Men Children of Atom. I do want to get that. And Ken Stage. It's only till now. See, Lieutenant Kurosawa. That's awesome. You got Felicia, Strider, Captain Commando, the ninja guy from his beat 'em up. Eliza, watching Ken, Morgan, and then you've got some Darkstalkers characters as well on the left. The sisters, and I want to say I think that's Eddie from Darkstalkers, but it might just be because he's British and a zombie, just like Eddie from Iron Maiden. So I might be getting that name mixed up. But yeah, that's cool that he's just there jamming out on the guitar, alive. And then Morgan being a vampire, of course, she's just like chilling. But yeah, the music is cool. Them on the boat. Ken having a boat in his stages is a thing, but yeah, this is another thing where looking back on it now, I'm like, oh man, look at this awesome stage. Oh, I pulled off an alpha counter. There you go. I was doing so well. Yeah. I was doing so well. But yeah, I can... playing this today, I could really see why this is beloved as much as it is. Because it does feel good, you know? And if you know how to really utilize the things the tools available to you, yeah, you're gonna have a ton of fun. And I had a ton of fun, even though I'm still trash. Let's see. Ooh, nice. That was just a regular. I was just going for regular Tatsu, but I'll take it. Oh, Strider throwing up the teddy bear. Yeah, if Strider's here, then Marvel vs. Capcom should have came out. Oh, there we go. It's getting heated. Oh. Oh. Yeah, if Strider's there, Marvel vs. Capcom should have came out, or it was going to come out soon after. I remember playing a lot of that. Alpha 2, I don't remember playing a lot of. Or Marvel Superheroes, or X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Those are the games that I remember playing a lot during this time, which, this was back in March 1996. So, dang. Thought I had that one too. Yeah, I was playing those because it's like, okay, well, who again, who am I? Oh, picking the blue costume because, like I said from that last video, I liked the blue costume better. But yeah, you know, in my mind is like, well, I want to play those games because I want to be Wolverine. I want to try out the no, Wolverine, pretty much. That was the character I wanted to pick. Um, there we go. Ooh, it's off the counter. There we go. Yeah. Who's next? Sagat? Yeah. Okay. And then there's Dan's dad, which he's the one that took Sagat's eye, and then the scar that he got, Ryu gave him. So I did like that about Street Fighter, that they, ooh, nice. They gave little rivalries and really played into that. I like that in general with fighting games, with whether it be like in Tekken with Jin Horahang and that's pretty much the other main fighting game I play. Tekken and Street Fighter. Oh, nice. There we go. There we go. Let's go, Charlie. Alright. Okay. And then... Whoa, we meet again. It's been a while, Akuma. I imagine this all in Japanese. So have you gotten any better? You tell me. Yeah, I was actually surprised I was fighting Akuma. I was like, oh, I don't... but then I remember Ryu's ending. I actually think... yeah, this ending's pretty awesome. But I don't know why I thought in my head he was fighting Bison. But oh well. Akuma, I always thought it was just too easy to pick Akuma. Of course, he's got that teleport. He's got the Raging Demon, which I mean is awesome. Like that, the Raging Demon. Is like so awesome. But yeah, I always thought like, well, I mean, I don't want to pick Akuma because he's got all these like broken tool sets and stuff. I later learned that the way they balance overpowered characters is by giving them low health. So you see how everybody has the same life bar. The amount of damage each character takes is different. So Akuma's got technically a lower life bar because if you hit him, your hits are going to do more damage to him. Which I think that would have eased me in. Oh, alright. Would have eased me into using Akuma, but oh, that was supposed to be. I was trying to activate my custom combo, but still, that was awesome. You possess the same power as I. When the evil intent awakens within you, then you'll know all these past battles will seem like child's play. Well, what? The island, it's disappearing? When you have learned to summon all your inner power, find me, then we'll truly learn who is more powerful. And it's thundering outside, so that's cool. As Akuma's island disappears, so does Akuma, leaving behind the feeling of his evil presence. Akuma! Left with only the sense of his untapped powers, Akuma's words give Ryu yet another test. Ryu's journey to be a true warrior is never ending. Which is true. I mean, you're always learning. I do like that they try to give Ryu a little bit more personality. He's not just the plain old hero. This is when he is learning his skill set, and he learns of the Dark Hado. But yeah, well, that was Street Fighter Alpha 2. Next up is Street Fighter. We're gonna go to Double Impact actually, because that is the next Street Fighter I played technically. So, bye guys.